Live from our studios in Kingstown, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's your favorite Thursday night show. Up Late with Sehon Marshall. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the host of tonight's show, Sehon Marshall.
All right, good night and welcome to this Thursday night edition of Up Late with Sehon Marshall, your favorite Thursday night show. I'm trying to get my phone because I need to share. But welcome. It's January the 29th, 2026, and it's your favorite show. I'm your host, Sehon Marshall, and I'll be here with you for the next hour or so. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so let me get a few things out of the way. First of all, you share. I'm getting an echo somewhere. I don't know why. That's muted. See if there's a muted mic on the laptop, because I'm getting an echo somewhere. All right. I'm still getting the echo. Not sure why. All right. So I'm going to now share the live. We're live on YouTube. Remember that. That's where you should be seeing Up Late with Sehon Marshall. There we are. And we have, 7 persons on so far? That's good. Keep sharing. Share. Go to WhatsApp. Opening WhatsApp. That's there. We share that. We go back. You know I do this every week, eh? Yeah, I do this every week. Sharing again. Come on, guys. Share the live. We go there. All right. I'm almost done. One more share. And we're going on. Not there. Not you. Sorry. Not you. One more share. There. Come on. Give me something proper than that. Up Late with Sehon Marshall. Posted. All right. Toya Vinci present, please. Wow, listen to me. I'm going to talk about that just now, right? I'm going to talk about that just now. I think I've shared everything so far. Let me make sure. I'm still getting that echo, producer. The mic on the is muted. The mic on the laptop. Okay. All right. No problem. Couldn't be this here. Could be that. Could be. It's probably that. All right. So that's no. Okay. All right. I'm still sharing. I am still sharing. And we put that on Up Late with Sehon Marshall. Tune in. I do this every week. And Terry says to me, Sehon, you need to get somebody to do that for you. Yeah, Terry, you need to pay. All right, good. Good. So we are off. Now again, let me welcome everybody to this edition of Up Late with Sehon Marshall. Let me thank you so much for your support. Last week's program was one of the highest most watched programs so far since we started on YouTube. And I must tell you that so far we've surpassed over 5,000 watch hours. So it's really great. I thank all those of you who are logging on, and you are watching the program. I'd love more of you to subscribe though. Please subscribe so we can keep the numbers going up. The last I checked, we were just over 1,300 subscribers. Let's keep that going up so we can continue to build the channel. I'm adding some new features. Since we've surpassed 5,000 watch hours, we're able to add some new features. And so some of those new exciting features would soon be available for subscribers, which includes subscribers being able to support this program financially. All right. So if you want to support, you're able to do so. So those are things that will be added very shortly, because now we're eligible for monetization. And you watch the program, you enjoy the program, you want to support, you want to contribute, you would now be able to do so. All right. Now, present, please. I thank you guys so much for the support of that 3-minute commentary. Listen, I never in my wildest dreams expected that program to be such a hit. But I swear to you, individuals are coming, are meeting me in the street, and they're greeting me with that phrase, "Present, please." And it's really heartwarming. So thank you so much. And I'll tell you this: it is creating such a disturbance with some individuals. I mean, they just can't restrain themselves from coming on. Even those who are saying how boring it is and how irrelevant I am, they are there every time I post and they are commenting. So clearly, they enjoy the content. And I encourage them to keep coming, and they'll keep hearing good content. But you guys have been so phenomenal in supporting that program, in supporting that commentary. That started out of nothing, eh? I got a call from the US yesterday, and the person saying to me, "I love how you just took that and ran with it. What was meant to be, because it wasn't meant for good, as you know. It wasn't meant for good. It was a call for me to get dumped from a board that I was not on. And I was called to the front of the line, and the individual was saying, "Listen, I really love how you just took that and ran with it. And hey, God gave me a talent, and I'm using that talent. Wait, I didn't share it on Instagram. Yes, we didn't share it on Instagram. So let me go back on Instagram. But so thank you so much for the support of that program. It's really growing, and I hope that will continue to grow as more of you individuals continue to log on, continue to share it. You're sharing it. You continue to subscribe. I want you to subscribe. You know, and as you continue to subscribe, then hopefully more and more people are able to see it. All right. So let's begin. Oh my Lord and I. Alrighty then. I'm ready for you now. All right. Now, the discussion surrounding the bonus continue. It really by now should have been, behind us. But there is this triumphalist attitude of the New Democratic Party with regard to their promise. And the failure to really acknowledge that they deceived intentions. And with all of that, you have a discussion that is continuing to soar on, really, when it shouldn't have been. Now, even today in Parliament, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. The Honorable Gordon Friday, continued to refer to what was offered to Vincentian as a bonus salary. But we all know that was not what was offered. That was promised, but it was not what was offered. And you're hearing a number of different explanations and so forth now. But please keep in mind that the very first thing that they did was not to accept and acknowledge what happened. Now, I want us to take it step by step. Hopefully after tonight, I ain't going to have to visit bonus again. But I want you to take it step by step. And I want us to look at two things, which we must juxtapose or hold up against each other. The first one was what was promised, giving rise to a legitimate expectation. And the second one was what was given. The first thing is what was promised, giving rise to what we call in law a legitimate expectation, and what was promised. And so I'm going to take you step by step through this process and establish that from the very, very beginning. Now, a lot of individuals are trying to change the discussion, and the discussion is now becoming, oh, but at least they got. But at least they got. You see, think about it. The ULP government, the ULP administration promised a stadium at Diamond. What we have out there is a track that allows for athletic events, and some bleachers. And they criticized that for years, saying they promised a stadium, but they didn't deliver on the promise. What should they have out there? Now, those same people, if they were being consistent, you could expect them to go, well, at least they got a world-class track. At least they now have a world-class synthetic track, similar to what is being used for Commonwealth Games and Carifta Games and so on. It is better than nothing. We never got that, you know. Listen, those of us who supported the government, and I as press secretary, sought to discuss that, listen, we are doing this thing in phases as money permits. Yes, we promised a track, and we are starting towards that. We promised a stadium, and yes, we are building towards a stadium. Vincentians had the legitimate expectation of a full stadium. Did they get a full stadium? They did not. What we have is a world-class synthetic track that allows for a number of athletic and field events with bleachers. And that wasn't good enough for the critics of the last government. You heard them every day on the radio. You heard them rubbishing that facility that now hosts exciting inter-secondary school games, intercollegiate games, sports meets, and so forth. But that wasn't good enough for them. Back then, the idea, which is not the word I want to use, back then, the notion that, but at least it's better than what we had. The notion that at least they should be thankful. The athletes now have something much better than we ever had before. Never appeared. But no, they are rushing to make excuses. And so now the discussion is no longer as it was on the ULP, that listen, that is not what you promised us, so we can't be satisfied with it. No. All of a sudden, it is better than what they had. But let's go step by step. I want you to listen. Talking legitimate expectations. I want you to listen to what Dr. Friday, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, promised Vincentians. Because I want to establish what the legitimate expectations of Vincentians, public servants, and so forth were. Listen to what was promised.
All the public servants, we will pay year-round bonuses to those persons, and not for them only. For all the people who are on public assistance, they will also have bonuses. It's not rocket science, folks. Don't tell me we can't do it. Because they're doing it in St. Kitts. They're doing it in Dominica.
Interestingly, we listened to this last week, but I wanted to build the case from the ground up. He said, we will pay year-round bonuses. Year-round, I'm not sure if that means yearly or every month in the year. Year-round, I don't know. That's another bit of the ambiguity in the wording. The wording should be a little tighter, but we'll get to that. He says it's not rocket science. It's between St. Kitts and Dominica. And we know last week we talked about what St. Kitts does. St. Kitts gives an additional month's salary at the end of the year. That was what Godwin Friday promised to all public servants. All. And I'll get into whether or not all public servants got, because I want to hear what Boucher, I want you to hear, I want to remind you of what Boucher promised public servants in the presence of Godwin Friday. I want to listen to what Boucher told public servants they were getting in the presence of Godwin Friday.
I forgot that I had to mention to our hard-working public servants, right, that we often hear St. Kitts getting a double bubble And they often ask, what about us? So it's historical. It's going to be the first time that St. Vincent and the Grenadines public servants will ever be receiving a double bubble for Christmas. First time. So you know, it is a reality. And we have to also make that a reality. Okay? Never happened before, and we can brag like St. Kitts now. And those other countries where the governments have done. You can't compare that with 3%. And for those workers, especially those at the very bottom getting $30, consider $30 versus $1,000+. The maths is really simple. So let's get this done.
Thank you.
It was clear. Again, he spoke to St. Kitts. He referred to it as a double bubble. A double bubble. You know what's a double bubble? For those of you who buy credit, the double bubble. You buy $10, they give you $10 free. You buy $50, they give you $50 free. You buy $100, they give you $100 free. There is no issue of inequality. The man who goes to buy the $10 credit gets double his $10 credit. I am spending $100. Don't come tell me about the man who buying $10 and $25 credit. That has nothing to do with me. I am spending my $100 to buy credit. I get double of the credit I buy. That's the double bubble concept. In the same way, the man who is a senior public servant with great responsibility, he might be making $7,000 a month. That's his salary. He expected a double bubble. The man who's making $5,000 a month, that's his salary. He's making $5,000 a month because he has the experience. He's making $5,000 a month because he has the qualifications. He's making $5,000 a month because he has the responsibilities. He expects double. And the person who makes $25,000 and $1,000, they expect double too. Was it fair? Is it fair even today for people to be saying, but you told me a double bubble? Well, I'm wondering if people could take the government to court. I'm wondering if they could take the government to court. But I haven't getting to the legal yet. I just want to talk expectations. So what did the public servants expect? They expected a second salary. Because Friday said it, Boucher said it in Friday's presence, Fitzbramble said it, and so on, and so on, and so forth. Now, bear in mind, during all of that discussion, those discussions, there was no mention of exclusions of any category of workers, specifically those who work with statutory corporations and statutory organizations. And if organization is term, but statutory corp and statutory bodies is the better term. So the corporations like Vinlec, CWSC, and so forth, and the bodies like Rivers and Parks, Rivers and Beaches, Tourism Authority, Invest SVG, and so forth, as well as, and in all the discussions, I didn't hear anybody mention this, the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College. Some teachers at the college are actual teachers with the Ministry of Education, but a number of them are teachers hired by the college itself, a statutory body. So chances are, so let me tell you what happened to them. Some of them get a bonus and some did not. Some of them got a bonus. Some teachers at DAGs and at TechVoc and so forth, some of them got bonus $2,000 or what have you. And others who expected a bonus are walking home without a bonus. A friend of mine who teaches at DAGs, the Division of Arts and General Studies, message livid because my friend was expecting a bonus. Even if not the double bubble, whatever bonus was being given there was an expectation that we would get it too. Friend of mine at another institution, again, upset. Really upset. Because there's nowhere in the elections, when government gave the 3%, when the COLA was given, they all got the COLA. My friend at DAGS, her colleagues at DAGS, at TechVoc and so forth, wherever they got the COLA. Now, with many of them having voted for a double bubble, they were getting zero. They got zero. They got zero. You know what else wasn't discussed? The pre-rating of it. Because whether you are a public servant or daily paid worker, established or non-established worker, the bonus isn't as simple. Because now, if you only worked for 9 months of last year, so you were hired in April of last year, they're going to divide it by 12 and give you 3/4 of it. If you started working in July, they're going to divide it by 12 and give you 6 months worth, a half of it. So individuals who got appointed for September as teachers, or August in the public service or wherever, they did not get the full amount because the government decided to prorate it. Did they expect that? You went from double bubble to 2,000, and even that, or 1,500 or 1,000, even that, well, maybe not the 1,500, the pensioners may well get the 1,500, but the daily paid, even that, they may not get. The $1,000. Imagine being told for months that you were going to get a double salary. Imagine, and you expect a double salary fully. So Friday announced, well, I don't even have to play that clip because you know that he's happy. They're going to make a payment. They're going to give 2,000 for public servants, everybody. They're going to give 1,500 to pensioners, and they're giving 1,000 to daily paid workers. Now, the question I started with is where I am at now. Is that what you expected? Is that what you expected? Did you expect $2,000 as a public servant? Did you expect $2,000? You're making $5,000. Did you expect $2,000? Your salary is $7,000. Did you expect $2,000? Now, for those who make $2,000 or less, I am really happy for you guys. I am ecstatic for you guys because those of you who make $2,000, you got a double bubble. Brilliant. And those of you who make less, you got even more than a double bubble. And so I'm really happy for you guys. And for you, your in all honesty, your expectations were exceeded. Your expectations were exceeded. But that wasn't what the $2,000 for most of you, was not what you expected. Now, The first thing they did when people got wind that they ain't going to pay no double bubble was that they came out, led by Lavon King, the then PRO, now senator, says, listen, you can find no statement anywhere from the president, Dr. Friday, of a double bubble. That was the first thing. And they started to do all sorts of gymnastics to wiggle themselves out of paying a double bubble. The truth was, you did say it. You did promise it. And so people, both their supporters and those who didn't vote for them, started publishing the things, publishing the cards. Look, you say bonus salary. Look, you say double salary. Listen to Fritz Bramble. Listen to so-and-so. So now they're forced to accept. Listen, stop the nonsense. I mean, the party is known to tell blatant lies. And it was no surprise that they came out and tried to completely deny promising anybody a double salary. There was no surprise there. But that may have worked in 1994 when there was no social media and there was no internet where things are kept in archives. So it was easy to find these things and say, no, you did. You did promise it. You did promise it. So stop the lying. Stop the walking back. If you can't pay it, say you can't pay it. But stop the walking back. The Prime Minister in audition went as far as saying, you can't pay a double bubble. You can't pay a double bubble to the point where the man at the top gets so much and the man at the bottom gets a little bit. You can't do that. We have to get rid of the inequality. Well, I was expecting the next thing to end budget is we will no longer be paying a salary where people at the top make 7,000 and people at the bottom make 2,000. And if you're really trying to deal with inequality, then you wouldn't give the man at the top more and the man at the bottom less. Because you want to make it as equal as possible. So the man at the bottom, you give him more, and the man at the top, you give him less. Of course, on the program with Bing Joseph and Stephen joking, they agreed with that reasoning. Because they have now decided that they are cheerleading as opposed to being critical. They could criticize for the last 5, 10, 15, how much years? But no, let's stop criticizing. Let's start cheerleading. And so they agreed with that. But there are those of us who stood our ground and called them out on it. And many didn't like that because they want a chance. Give me a ease up now. You're being too hard on me. It's too early. I just come in. It's only 2 months. So I'm supposed to just sit back for 2 months and allow you to grope around in the dark and watch you stomp your toe and butt up your foot and don't say nothing because you're a new government and it's only 2 months. Life doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work. You didn't wait 2 months to recall and fire people. You ain't wait 2 months to send police to lock up people for materials. You ain't wait 2 months to fire the assessors. But you are 2 months. You are 6 months. You want a year. You are ease up. You want to ease up. So stomp your toe in the dark and we're supposed to just sit down and leave you. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. So what then happened is that Lavon King, the PRO, who's now at the Ministry of Education as senator, but controls the information organs of the state, API, VC3, NBC Radio. And I asked the question, was it Lavon who called and told API to take down the video of the fumbling Friday? That has a catch to it, boy, fumbling Friday. Anyway, was it Lavon? I'd love to know. But Lavon decided, again, the first attempt at, there is no record anywhere of Dr. Friday saying a double bubble. That didn't work. Denying it didn't work. The inequality argument ain't work. So she comes with a new one. Let's say Lavon explain. It's a long clip, but you can enjoy it. Let's say Lavon explain to us, stupid Vincentians, the real issues behind the double bubble discussion.
Good morning. Hi, Jeannie. How are we today?
It sounds like Laverne King.
Yeah, it does.
Boy, what's timing? What timing?
By the way, that was
Why you back here?
Don't study that.
Why do you think everybody's giving you a pass on this?
One of them
this double
actually must
salary?
message you until she called. But anyhow, that's not the point. Let me go.
Because
No, we'll get to API, but
the ministry that I'm a part of, Luke, is tasked with and I'm sure we'll get to what you want to talk to. It's tasked with the information portfolio.
no, let's go the other way first, Laverne. Let me start with the double salary first, because that's what we're currently talking about. You're calling in late, so we're talking about the double salary.
Okay.
So give us some explanation. Why do you think people are giving you a fairly easy pass on this?
What do you mean when you say that?
Well, we heard in the election campaign, we saw material saying double salary, and then
It changed to bonus.
at some point it changed to a bonus.
Look, you saw in the election, as a matter of fact, and I pride myself on being honest. When we started to put forward that promise in the election as a political party, we in fact started with saying that we'll pay a salary bonus. There were cards that was printed in error that did have double salary on there. I am not going to bury my head in the sand, but in our talking time from when the party president first spoke about it and when we launched our 60-day plan, which is when the public first became aware of it, it did say a salary bonus. I admit and have said on this station before that yes, there were instances where persons did say double salary or this and that, and there was some ambiguity in there.
Well, why would you say a salary bonus rather than just a bonus?
At the core, well, now look, you're going into the semantics of phrasing, and we could say, well, yes, it could have been phrased differently. But I would admit and I would say that there was some ambiguity in the messaging and so forth at the time. And since then, we have sought in several instances to clear the air and the ambiguity. But I understand that as a radio host, that you would love to continue to, dig into that.
No. But as the former PM said, if you're going to give a bonus, you say a bonus. If you're going to give a whole salary, you say a salary bonus. I've never heard any business say a salary bonus meaning just a bonus. They would say their workers are going to get a bonus. A salary bonus implies that you're going to get a whole salary as a bonus.
The party leader
and the union leader said that he and his members also heard that.
All right. So the card that we launched, Luke, says issue a bonus payment for all public servants. Right. That's what the blurb in the text says. And I have said consistently, Luke, that I admit that there was some ambiguity there, and maybe the phrasing and the wording could have been better. So I've given you that. And I believe that what you want me to do is, I don't know how much more I could go down, but I have already admitted, in fact, more than a month ago, that we admit the wording could have been tighter, and I did start to clarify it, and I did say the blurb in the text did say a bonus payment for all public servants. Were there persons who said double salary? Yes. Did that happen? Was it unfortunate? Yes. But was that the true intent? And when we first launched the message, no, we always.
Who knows?
So the message,
who knows?
So the message was not
who
to
knows what the
deceive.
true intent is when you're trying to get elected?
No, well, I mean, that's up to you to decide.
So the issue now is phrasing. The issue now is ambiguity, clarity, clearness. The issue now is the printry. So let me get it straight. You printed some cards because you always had the intention to give a bonus on your salary. You printed some cards that came back saying a double salary, a bonus salary. The first thing you're going to do is like, call somebody and say, what's this? No, because listen, cards aren't hard to print. Anyone you know, you call a print tree, you get 10,000, 15,000 cards, BAP shipped to you, done. You go, what kind of foolishness is this? We can't be telling people a bonus salary because you see it. You see it before you gave it out. But you gave it out anyway. So, you recognize the error because according to Lavon, I stupid, right? I stupid, but I'm trying real hard. And maybe most of you watching the program stupid to accept the few NDP supporters who come on to try and distract me. So let me try to do this together. Some cards came. You've been discussing this thing for the elections, however. How long? And your plan was to give a bonus on your salary. Not a bonus salary. There was never an intention to pay a bonus salary. So you sent some cards to print. They come back. It actually says a bonus salary. You sit down in the meeting and go, guys, no, we can't put these out. That is going to have an expectation that people will expect a double bubble. We can't put it out. Step one, you put it out anyway. You put it out anyway. Step two, you then go on your platform and talk about bonus salary. Now, if one was a typo, a typographical error, when you go on your platform and you talk about bonus salary and you invoke St. Kitts and Nevis that gives an additional salary, what is that, a taco? A typographical error? Because I don't get it. Okay, I could give you the cards came back printed incorrectly, but I can't give you a pass on handing them out. That's the first thing. But you did not just hand it out. You went on your platform and you spoke of a double salary. And listen, as a former teacher, as a trained teacher, nothing reinforces a point better than an example. So when I teach my little daughter how to add, I say, if you have 3 apples and I take 1, how many do you have? So what me do? We put 3 apples on the table and we take 1. Nothing reinforces a concept like an example. And so just in case there was ambiguity, what am I seeing here on thing? Okay, probably not. Right. Just in case there was ambiguity, they decided, let me give an example. Let me reinforce it. Let me tell them what I mean when I say double bubble. And so he says, Dr. Friday I'm referring to, they do it in St. Kitts. Oh, that's what you mean when you say double bubble. Boucher says, like in St. Kitts, the public servants go, oh, that's what you mean when you say a double bubble. Because had they not given these specific examples of St. Kitts, people gonna say, well, me ain't sure what I mean. When they say a bonus salary, what do they mean? What do they mean? What do they mean? And people gonna say, well, I ain't really sure, you know. And they recognizing, you see, the idea was to drive home a promise that was so catchy. Drive home a promise that was so effective that you can actually sway people. It's money. It's money. So saying a bonus salary wasn't enough. Saying a double bubble wasn't enough. Because people might miss what I really want to tell them. And so they went specific. They went specific. like in St. Kitts. What happens in St. Kitts? There is an additional salary. So now, you hear again 2,000, not the additional salary, and you're hearing from Lavon is a typo. You're hearing from Lavon that when the guys went on the stage, it was a taco. You understand? You're hearing from Lavon that when Friday sat next to Boucher, and Boucher said a double bubble like St. Kitts, a double bubble like St. Kitts. He was a listener, because there was a listenographical error, or a hero. It's just errors. But the biggest error was made on November 27th when Vincentian fell for it and voted for an NDP. That's incompetent, that's incapable, and now is breaking promises so early. That was the real error, and that is the real tragedy. But Vincentians are finding out really, really early in the movie. Vincentians are finding out really early in the movie. So this week, Boucher went on radio and they asked Boucher about it. Oh, and Boucher had a lot to say. But I want to listen carefully to my good friend and president of the union. By the way, he was saying that he has been president of the union for 8 years, and I believe a term in the union is 2 years, which means he has been there for 4 terms. And this is a man who thought 5 terms was too much or 4 terms was too much for PM, to be prime minister. But anyhow, let's hear Boucher's explanation on radio this week when he was asked about the double bonus that he told his members to vote for.
But you
understand?
You sound like the press secretary of the prime minister here.
I am just...
Into you. You're the
so
man.
My instant reaction was, what is meant? What is the promise? What is the promise being made? Is it a bonus? Is it a double salary? Right? When I heard it first, from the now prime minister, I asked myself, what does he really mean? Because I could not really tell clearly what is meant, whether it was a bonus or a double salary. I actually, because I've never heard him speak about double salary. I've heard him speak about bonus salary.
But did you see any documentation?
I saw documentation on two. Yes,
from the New Democratic Party.
Yes, I have seen, because there are two cards that they have.
Right.
One says bonus salary, one says double salary. It is not until I heard the candidates, like the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, speaking about it on the campaign trail, and he articulated a double salary and drill long into what it means, right? So from that point, I said, well, if that is the case, if that is what is meant by it, I took that cue that is what is meant by it, right? And later now, I'm going to discover, long after everything is done and dusted, that there were 2 different messages. And the intention was a bonus. But because there were 2 different messages for some internal issues, some mix-up, the information had gone viral, and it was too late to even recall it.
To pull it back.
So just allow it to just play out.
But what was the reaction of your members?
Well, they were delighted to be getting a double salary. They thought it was a double salary, because I said it was a double salary also.
And what do they feel now? And what do you feel now?
Well, now having looked at all that has happened, I've accepted the explanation that has been given, 1. And 2, I'm sure that the members are delighted that they are getting a bonus that, listen, they have never gotten this quantum of a bonus in the last 25 years. In fact, when we were asking for a bonus of the previous government, we never envisioned that it will be of this quantum. We thought it might be something like $300, a $500. Our thing was like a $500 per se. So this is beyond expectations.
Beyond whose expectations, Boucher? Beyond whose expectations? And I'm listening to Boucher, my friend, being an apologist for the government. As a matter of fact, there's another clip, and it was played a while ago, a short clip, but I haven't played it yet. Boucher first of all said he wasn't sure. He wasn't sure what it meant. Because he never heard Dr. Friday say it. There's a talking point straight from Lavon. Dr. Friday never said it. Straight from Lavon. He said he wasn't sure whether it was a double salary or what have you. But then according, because he saw the cards. He saw the cards. But it wasn't after later on that he heard people on the platform talking about double salary and double bubble, that he then realized, so that double salary they're talking about. And he told his members a double salary. And I'm hearing Boucher now saying that, he got the explanation that there was an error in the talking points, and it was printed, and it had gone out by error, and it just allowed it to go so. Who's talking? Is that Boucher, the president of the Public Workers Union, the Public Service Union? Or is it this Boucher? Play the clip we played a while ago. Which Boucher is it? Even Bing Joseph had to look at him and go, hold on, Boucher, who are you representing this morning? Hear the clip. Even Bing.
Boucher, you
understand?
You sound like the press secretary of the Prime Minister here.
I am just
you're speaking as if you're the press secretary of the Prime Minister.
Honestly, I agree with Bing. I don't say that very often. But the person in studio talking there did not sound like the person who's charged with looking after the welfare of the public servants in this country. You're telling me that they're delighted because they never got this quantum in 25 years. Boucher. I am sure, but I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure, so I could be wrong. But I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that the previous government gave a half-month salary bonus during the 25 years. I'm not sure how often it was done, but I'm sure a half-month salary was given. And so if a half-month salary was given, a man making $5,000 got more than what he got. He's getting from the NDP. And if a man was making $7,000, he got more than what you got from the NDP. I am sure that the ULP government gave a half-month salary bonus. Can't say how many times. And so, if that is the case, Boucher again, as the press secretary of Dr. Friday, because he been press secretary for Dr. Friday since in opposition, because he tell them vote for Friday. He told them to vote for Friday. So he's telling people that the public servants have accepted it. And they're excited. And it's more than they expected. That can't be so, Boucher. It cannot be more than they expected when they were promised a double salary. It cannot be more than they expected when they were promised a double salary. The public servant all throughout the elections who makes $4,000 a month was expecting $4,000. The public servant who makes $2,500 a month was expected $2,500. The public servant who makes $7,000 a month was expecting $7,000. So to come afterwards and tell St. Vincent and the Grenadines and look at your membership and tell them, take the $2,000 because it's more than they've been expecting, so just take it and satisfy, is egregious and a dereliction of your duty, Mr. Boucher. Because now you've transformed from leadership of the union to spokesperson of the NDP. Now I know what a spokesperson does and sounds like because I was one. I know what a spokesperson does and sound like because I was one. So I know one when I see one, or rather, I know one when I hear one. And boss, I mean, I hear a CPO, I know what truth is. I hear a CPO you're lobbying for. So I hear a CPO you're lobbying for. And they already have a press secretary, but you do not have a fine job apologizing for the NDP, my body. A fine job. So now, let's look at how this thing has progressed. You were promised a double salary, an extra salary at the end of December. The one in November, on November 27th. They didn't deliver the extra month salary in December. They came and told you, we never promised you an extra month salary. No. We never promised you a bonus salary, an additional month salary. No. You never heard Dr. Friday say anything about the double salary. But they were called out. You did. Here's what the card says. Here's what Bramble says. Here's what Friday said. He says it's a bonus like in St. Kitts. St. Kitts is double, and so on and so forth. Okay. Yeah. All right. But no, it was the printry that printed the card wrong. And there was ambiguity. So when we went on the platform and talked, the language wasn't tight enough. It's about language. It wasn't tight. A dumpling I heard about? We talking about dumpling? And I admit that there was some ambiguity, but it wasn't our intention. It's transitioning. And finally, we are at, well, listen, it's more than you was expecting, you know. Or at least you get something. It's more than you would have had, and it's more than the cola. Is more than the cola. So that's governance for the NDP. That's governance NDP style. Tell a lie, deny it, make excuse for it, and then at the end of the day, go, well, it wasn't exactly a big lie. It wasn't a whopper of a lie. So y'all could live with that. I tell you, the real error was the error made by Vincentians in trusting that party and voting for them. That's the real error. That's the real error. And I believe that over time, more and more Vincentians would come to realize the error they made. I never said to you that NDP, that the ULP was a perfect party. But at least nobody ever came back and said, oh no, we didn't promise you a stadium, we promised you a track. And you never hear anybody say stadium. When they talk about the cross-country road or the tunnel on the Cane Garden, nobody never come out and say, no, we never say cross-country road now, we never say tunnel on the Cane Garden. And in the same way, the same energy that you expelled, the same energy that you use to say, a track was not what you promised us. You promised us a stadium. Keep the same energy. $2,000 was not what you promised us. You promised us a double salary. And for those in statutory bodies and so forth, like the college and so on, who got zero, what was your expectation? Did you expect that you'd be told after all of it that you're not a part of the public service establishment, so you're not getting nothing? Was that your expectation? And as your president, what are you telling Boucher? We're going to tell Boucher that you're excited because the quantum? Where's your quantum? Well, I don't know how many more excuses Boucher would make on behalf of the government, and I don't know how long his speaking tour would be, going around making excuses for the blunder he made and for misleading his body. But we'd see. That's all for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and I thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe to the channel so that you can get the alerts, updates, and coming very soon, special features that will be available to subscribers only. Because of course, if you ain't subscribed, you won't be able to participate. Please subscribe and share this program, and continue to support Uplift with Sehon Marshall. Also, always be present, please, and continue to give that support for that program as well. Listen, we have a task at hand. When the ULP was in opposition, there were those who disrespectfully, dishonestly criticized the ULP in the worst ways. I ain't doing that. And it's amazing that all of a sudden, individuals have awakened and realized that we have a country to build. So we shouldn't, stop the criticizing. Let's build our country together. When for the last 25 years, they sat down on the side and wished the worst things, that a tsunami could mash up the airport, that the port could sink, that a plane could crash on the star, and all those things. In those days, during those times, apparently, there was no country to build. Well, so far, I have not wished anything bad for this country. I have not wished death on anyone, and I never will. I have not wished danger, destruction on anything. I only wish the country well and the government well. But I'm going to keep you to account. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, whether you and the supporters like it or not. And most importantly, I'm going to use your words to remind you. Until next Thursday, when I'm back with you with another edition of Uplift with Sehon Marshall. On behalf of my director and all of you who logged on and spent the entire hour with us, let me thank you and wish you a good night.